Hi, I'm your host, Solim Bhatia, and welcome to our series on tech predictions for 2021. Our next oracle is James Hunt, Director of R&D at Stark and Wayne. James, it's good to have you back on the show.
Always good to be back, Swap.
James, before I ask you to pick up your crystal ball and give us your predictions, can you please tell me a bit about Stark and Wayne?
Stark and Wayne is a cloud native consulting firm. We focus in on Cloud Foundry and Kubernetes in an attempt to help our customers who mostly are in the enterprise in the Fortune 1000. We help them build platforms that unlock the potential and power of their dev team so they can move quickly, focus in on core business objectives, and at the end of the day, deploy with as minimum of a fuss as possible.
Perfect. Now it's time for you to grab your crystal ball and tell me what predictions do you have for 2021?
I have three predictions. The first one, I think we're going to see in the next 12 months, we're going to see a disruptor in the Cloud Foundry operation deployment space. So right now we have CF for Kates, if you want to run Cloud Foundry on Kubernetes. We also have kubecf, which is kind of the transitional bits between VM and containerized Cloud Foundry. And we also have classic legacy, vintage, whatever you want to call it, VM-based Cloud Foundry. But I think the market is ripe for a new competitor to enter into the market. You're seeing this a little bit with Google KF. They're doing things that are a bit interesting in how they're approaching this. But I think you're going to see another one or two competitors enter into the market to try and carve up some of that market space of people who are on Cloud Foundry today, want to continue to be on Cloud Foundry, but also want to court the Kubernetes containerization story and try to do both with as minimum of trouble and disruption. I think this is driven by an increased focus in 2021 on developer experience, which leads a little bit into my second prediction. I think you're going to see more attention paid to the data ownership inside of Kubernetes and Cloud Foundry deployments. The commoditization of orchestration and runtimes means that I can pick up stakes whenever I want and move from vendor to vendor. So if I'm not happy with AWS's EKS today, I can pick up my deployments and go over to Google or Azure or DigitalOcean. And the thing I can't easily today pick up and move is my data. So I think you're going to see people who are trying to do that cloud mitigation as they move away from vendor lock-in and diversification of their budgets. You're going to see them focus in on how can we own the data, move the data, and otherwise treat the data as a first-class object in the deployment. And my third prediction has obliquely is related to technology, and that is the topic of remote work. While I sincerely hope that 2021 will bring an abatement of the onslaught of COVID-19, I think remote work is going to continue to be an important factor in the technology space. I think you're going to see some big tech companies and small non-tech companies pull back from remote work as COVID subsides. But I think you're also going to see some companies that have realized real benefits from remote work, increased employee satisfaction and job happiness. And I think you're going to see more experimentation in this area. And the thing I like to say is that I think fiber optic connectivity is going to be the rivers of the 21st century. Where there's high-speed internet, you're going to find talented remote work, and more people are going to move to that lifestyle.
James, thanks for sharing those predictions with us. What is going to be the focus of the company Stark and Wayne in 2021?
So we're mostly just continuing down on the path that we've been on, where we're doing a lot of Kubernetes. We're still helping enterprise customers move off of Cloud Foundry onto Cloud Foundry, whichever way they want to go, right? Whatever makes sense, the right tool for the job. I think the biggest factor, going back to the remote work prediction, I think the biggest area for us is to help with application transformation and also a little bit on the agile coaching. Stark and Wayne has been a remote first company since it was founded, right? The founder was on the West Coast. A large chunk of the population of the employees is on the East Coast and everywhere in between. So we've had close to a decade of figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And we hope to share that with our customers and with the community at large all throughout next year and into the future.
Thanks for sharing these predictions and also sharing the focus of the company, which is more or less like continue this momentum. What I'm going to do is I would love to have you back on the show in December of 2021.
Sure.
Number one, to see how many of your predictions turn out to be true, and then also get your next set of predictions for the next year. So thank you, and I look forward to talk to you again.
I predict I'll be there.